Hello and welcome one and all to Crossover Kings, the series where we'll pick out a character and analyze their history of success in crossover battles against other fictional characters and determine how well they all measure up. I heard everyone loud and clear, so loudly in fact that I heard it in the past and had the research done for Sonic's Crossover Kings episode before I put up that poll that pretty well told me that Sonic is the character people want most, alongside the comments of Godzilla's video which also told me that. So do tell me what you want to see below, because I have been taking notes to possible options I could do. I will not be reciting the rules every episode, but placing them on screen, and if they're not clear enough, I'll have them in the description and you can watch the start of Godzilla's episode to hear them better. When it came to Sonic, a lot of his crossovers rarely had anything to do with actual fighting. Unsurprisingly, he also spends the majority of that fighting against Eggman instead of anyone actually connected to another series. With all that said, I was still able to get a decent bit out of Sonic's lineup, and it's quite a doozy. Let's not waste any time and get straight to the crossovers.
Wahoo! It's me, a legally distinctive drama character. I'm here to tell you that Sonic the Hedgehog is a sponsor of this video is G Fuel, your all-in-one plant-based energy formula containing 0 calorie, carbs, or sugar. Excuse me, I'm trying to insult the stupid hedgehog. Yeah, okay, shut up. G Fuel is available in over 50 flavors in tubs and or cans and is your perfect cheat code in a can. I'm a particular fan of the sour fruit punch flavor. Listen here, you son of a legally distinct turtle creature. I'm trying to talk about the blue guy right now. If you don't shut your mouth, I'm not going to count Doki Doki Panic from your Crossover Kings episode and rob you of roughly 10 wins from the start. Tell me in the comments if you think Doki Doki Panic really counts as a crossover for Mario. Papa Pia. G Fuel is this video sponsored, did I mention? Drink it and you can become an epic gamer like me. Seen here not playing Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games because I don't own it. What I do own is some G Fuel. So can you if you head to the link in the description and use code BLOODRIGHT for 20% off your order. That's right, 20% off your order. Wow! Also, a Super Mario Sunshine is a better game than Sonic Adventure 2. Mario, no!
Sonic starts strong, and a 1994 commercial crossed him over with the B from the Honey Nuts Cheerios commercials and branding. And his name is indeed just the B, as the competition that would get him named Buzz B didn't happen until 2000, meaning at this point his name from his debut around 1979 to 2000 was just the Honey Nuts Cheerios B. In this commercial, he challenges Sonic to a race and gets absolutely smoked. No way around it, that's a fat W for our blue boy right off the bat. We have a few crossovers that occur with no real fights in them. A set of 1994 commercials with Ronald McDonald, the one level in 1996's Christmas Nights in a Dreams where Sonic beats up Eggman, and we might get one that's notable right after that. In a 1998 issue of Archie and Friends, The Halloween Tale, Sonic and Knuckles basically get summoned by Sabrina into the real world, and they beat up Jughead while he's dressed up as Eggman. I honestly don't want to count this at all because, I mean, it's Jughead. It is technically a win, but also technically a 2-on-1 victory, so by my rules this is only a technical win, and a very funny one, because out of context it implies that Sonic needed Knuckles' help to team up and take down Jughead. The same year in Archie Comics we got Sonic Super Special Issue 7. This is the one where Spawn shows up in, and they don't fight, and he's honestly the least interesting thing here. So first off, Sonic gets absolutely spifflicated by a character named Particle, but as she is original to this crossover, it doesn't count to the tally. She also later mops him and Knuckles at the same time. The two travel the Cosmic Interstate, where they meet Shadowhawk from Malibu Comics' 1992 Sun-Free promotional magazine. And hey, that's a friend at least. Also, I guess he's friends with Buzzbee? Sure. They team up and phase through a building where Savage Dragon from Image Comics' 1982 graphic Phantasy issue 1, at least that's his technical debut before he even was Savage Dragon, attacks them, but the fight is stopped early as he's friends with Shadowhawk. And then Union shows up from Wildstorm Comics 1993 Union issue 1. Then they find the stolen Master Emerald and he gets shot and everyone gets teleported and put in boxes. Wherein out of literally nowhere, the Max from another 1993 Image comic named for him, who just shows up. He just shows up, uses the Master Emerald as a frickin' bowling ball, and also frees up Image Comics' 1992 hero Velocity. And a big fight ensues, but Knuckles ends up finishing it by controlling the Master Emerald. While this technically could be argued as a win from Sonic's side, they were fighting villains made up for the comic, so I can't actually count it. And like, if you're upset I'm not giving Sonic this win, keep in mind, if I didn't have this rule, he'd have 2 fat L's from Particle and an L from Union when he shot the Emerald and knocked Sonic out. I can give him a friendship with at least Velocity though. We jump 1 year ahead to 1999 Sabrina the Teenage Witch, issue 28. One of the stories featured the character Enchantra, who uses a computer to see the infinite countless realities that exist, and chooses of all places to do her stuff, of course, in Mobius, where she kidnaps a slave and brings her to her land because of a really stupid spat she's having with Sabrina.
So, editing nemesis here. I just while editing, found that there are a couple moments where my mic glitches. That was a weird one because it makes it sound like I said slave. I said she mic controlled Sonic. I could get the full line, but I've already edited all the audio together, and I just noticed the degree to the glitching can be a bit weird. Don't ask me how I didn't notice that. I guess I was really tired when I was doing the initial audio edit, so just keep that in mind. If you hear a weird glitch, it's because the audio glitched, alright?
Here, Sonic mollywops the character of Salem for a bit. He zaps Sonic and becomes intangible, so he flies straight through a wall, and then Sabrina, of course the character from the titular 1971 comic, shows up and fights Sonic, who is winning until he, of all things, trips on some kitty litter. This continues in Sonic Super Special Issue 10, where he figure 8s her and really gives her a beating, but then she teleports a tree in his way and he's instantly knocked out. This is clearly a draw as they're both knocked out in this battle, though it's technically better for Sonic as he was mind controlled and still winning, but also better for Sabrina because she ate a full-on beating while Sonic got one-tapped. Anyway, he gets free from the mind control and attacks Enchantra, but the fight also isn't a win or a loss because he just gets teleported back home without his memories. Also, Sally Acorn was there. In the next year, Phantasy Star Online became a thing. In this game, there's a mission featuring Sonic, as well as Tails and Knuckles, where you have to find a dog, and there's no fighting. But you can count this as a friendship with the Phantasy Star Online protagonist, of which the name I could not find if there is one. We skip past Virtua Striker 3 and go into the crossover game Sega. In this game, a guy named Sega Taro has to team up with Sega characters to save Sega. However, Sonic only shows up in the background during the big final battle, and to give Taro a ride at one point. But as all the enemies are just made up for this game, he can't really get a win here. And not even a friendship, as we only see him interact with original character Sega Taro. We're going to skip the Ty the Tasmanian Tiger commercial because this is not official at all. And we're going to also skip the fight for the Fox Box as he only fights Eggman, as well as Sega Superstars and Phantasy Star Universe. We go straight to Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games in 2007. There is going to be a lot of Olympic Games here, and this is a good time to remind you that these are not necessarily just fights, they're also competitions, which is where this is relevant. I also want to remind Biffweed watching this about how he joked about me going through the Olympic Games just to find nothing, because that's not what happened. He's going to feel like the dumbest motherfucker to come out of Wales by the time this video is done, and somehow it's not going to have anything to do with the video itself. It's the fact that he's friends with someone who does this. In the first game, however, sadly, for as great as the commercials I've been showing you are, they don't actually give us much. However, a Japanese commercial does show Sonic beating Bowser in a long jump, so I'll give Sonic a W for that. Then we move into Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I'm sure a lot of people expect this to dominate Sonic's list in general, this is just the Smash Bros. Scene. But in Brawl, there's really not much to go with. In his trailer, you see him blindside Mario and fight a few guys, but he doesn't actually get shown winning any of these fights. We just see the parts where he's got the upper hand. Just remember, you can have the upper hand at one point and anyone can give you the Kamaki Tiger Drop. Sonic also does thump Taboo pretty badly, but not only is Taboo made up for this game so it doesn't count, but all he did was break Taboo's wings. Taboo still, fights. Then there's Sega Superstars 10. What's that? Oh, he only beats Eggman in the intro. Okay. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games. In the main game, the best we can say is that in the intro, Mario and Sonic are shown tying, but also beating Wario and Eggman, but it's not a win. The race is a tie, so not applicable? Oh, and I'm not counting all the times in Smash trailers where Sonic gets into a fight, but it doesn't show the winner as not applicable, because I don't want to count every single fight he's been and we don't see the winner of, okay? Not applicable is just there for the sake of it. In the DS game, however, we get Adventure Tour, where Bowser and Eggman steal all the snow spirits to stop the games for reasons. Now, I'm not going to show all the clips relevant because it'll take a lot of time for not a lot of stuff to see, so just take my word on this or go play it yourself. Why the hell would I lie about this? Throughout the game, you are forced to or can use Sonic to defeat the following Mario characters. Keeping in mind you can face a lot of bonus ones, but here are the only mandatory ones as far as I'm aware. I might have gotten a couple things wrong though, but this is my knowledge as far as my knowledge goes. Bowser Jr. at speed skating, a Shy Guy in Nordic Combined, Luigi in cross country, Peach in a snow machine fight, a Shy Guy in Supersonic Downhill, Dry Bowser in Supersonic Downhill, Yoshi in Lug? I don't watch the Olympics. A team up victory against Wario and Waluigi in sledding, Big Bullet Bill in blazing bobsled, Dry Bones in curling, Wario and Waluigi again, Dry Bowser again, and a win in a series of games against Bowser and Eggman teamed up with Mario that counts as one total win. That's 13 wins in this game. On to 2010's Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, where Sonic is shown winning the race against a ton of Sega characters in the intro. This is reused in commercials, but it's all the same clip, so it's the same race. That's one win. Wow, Sonic hasn't had a single loss yet, and in a racing game, that's never gonna happen, so this is going pretty good for the blue guy. It sure would be a shame if there was one commercial that shows Sonic in a race that he loses to motherfucking Ryo from Shenmue. Yeah, Ryo Shenmue gave Sonic a fat L in a race. I don't even know what to say. Except that now, we go into Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, London, 2011. In the commercials, we see a few competitions between Mario and Sonic, but nothing really comes of it. Oh, is that Sonic eating an L to DK, Yoshi, and Mario in cycling? Okay, sure. Sonic, why are you losing all the races? Oh, and also here's Sonic losing a 100-meter sprint to several Mario characters. If it makes him feel better along with these two L's, I'll give him a friendship with the overall Mario cast. I'm not counting everyone. Then there's the DS game story mode. There's a lot less here due to the storyline of fake versions of characters. However, when it comes to legitimate characters, Sonic and Tails do beat King Boo and his partner Boo in badminton, and he is in a team that beats Magic Koopa, but it's not nearly as fair a win, so it's only a technical one in my opinion. What is fair though is Mario, Sonic, Luigi, and Tails beating a super amplified Bowser and Eggman. Otherwise, they most just beat up fake versions of characters, so that is 2 wins. And a technical one. Then in 2012, Sonic and All-Star Racing Transform dropped. Nobody can be seen winning the intro, and a bunch of random commercials show inconclusive races between Sonic and Danica Patrick. Because it's funny, I'm adding this one as a vague outcome. Also, they fucking killed II. But now we can move on to one of the big ones. Sonic and Mega Man Worlds Collide. In this crossover between the Archie Sonic and Archie Mega Man comics, Eggman and Wily team up and use Copy Robot and Metal Sonic to trick Mega Man and Sonic into fighting one another. The fight is pretty damn cool. Sonic gets the upper hand, but Mega Man continues fighting even while damaged from previously fighting the roboticized Knuckles, Tails, Shadow, and Amy. Mega Man gets distracted by a portal, letting Sonic damage his Mega Buster, but Mega Man leads him through to his world where he gets the upper hand with backup and an E-Tank to restore himself. However, the fight ends inconclusively, as they stop to save civilians and realize they're not really enemies. Eggman and Wily send in Tails Man to take them out, but they restore him and they start their friendship. In issue 2, Mega Man, Sonic, Tails, and Proto fight Copy Robot and the Genesis unit. We get Copy Robot doing the strange isn't it line, but then Mega Man kinda does all the work here, so it's only, at best, a technical win. They fight the roboticized Charmy, Shadow, Knuckles, Blaze, SBO, Vector, Silver, and Amy until Proto fucks off, but then Mega Man, once again, kinda does all the work taking out the Sonic cast by freeing them. Including Shadow Man, who fought alongside Shadow Man and got freed back into being Shadow and then beat Shadow Man. Rouge shows up with schematics for Wily and Eggman's big vehicle, Mega Man frees Silver and Blaze, then later Amy and also Knuckles. Sonic also quotes the Knuckles rap. Sonic and Co then fight all of the Robot Masters. Specific shout out to Omega fucking rocking Napalm Man's shit. Sonic takes out several Robot Masters, especially Quick Man, slow ass, but they all just kinda get back up. Overall though, I will say that the Sonic side does end up winning, so I'm comfortable to call this a team victory for Sonic. Wily and Eggman start arguing after Eggman throws light out of the Wily Egg trying to kill him, but Shadow saves him. During this, Sonic, Tails, and Mega Man fight the Mega Man Killers, awesome deep cut, and they win! Tails gets injured, but that is a win. It was a 3-on-3 against Mega Man characters. They then fight the Chaos Devil, a fusion of Chaos and the Devil robots, but Duo shows up in awesome fashion to save the day. Duo restores them to full power before his fight, and then they come across Bass and Metal Sonic. Sonic also loses a game of rock, paper, scissors to Mega Man. Yes, I'm counting this because it's funny. And yes, he did lose. By my rules, this is a loss. And when I do Mega Man, this will be a W. However, this gets counteracted by the immediate W they get against Bass and Metal Sonic, so I guess it didn't matter. Eggman and Wily blindside them, which doesn't count as an L, and prepare the Super Genesis Wave to rewrite all of the universes in the multiverse. Until Light shows up with the original 8 Robot Masters to save the day. A lot of cool shit happens that culminates in Super Sonic and Super Armor Mega Man mollywopping Wily and Eggman. Eggman does attack Sonic at the last moment after having already lost as the two heroes are ready in Chaos Control, but despite that, my desire to say that this doesn't count due to the non-standard super power-up is greatly outweighed by my desire to give one of the only Supersonic appearances on this list recognition, so I'm counting it. 2013 takes us to some more goddamn Olympic Games. Sonic beats 4 Birdos along with Tails, Yoshi, so that's 1 win for Team Sonic. And then in the Champions race also takes out a team with Dry Bowser, so I'll count that too. That's 2 wins. For now, we head to Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS. Truthfully though, aside from a few encounters without endings, he doesn't actually do anything in the game's trailers. So we can move on. Let's skip the time Linkara showed up and go into 2 episodes and the OVA of High School Seiha Girls. Sonic appears in the intro every episode, technically blindsiding Dreamcast, but you can hardly count that. However, in all other appearances, he only really takes on Eggman. That's a shame. Until the OVA, where Sonic gets involved in a race with Eggman, Sakura from Sakura Wars, the Virtua Fighter cast, and technically Gilius Thunderhead. In the 54th annual No Holds Barred, Give It Your All, Winner Takes All, surpassing all the previous events, Seihagaga Academy Sports Festival. Sonic loses. In fact, this is the fattest L we might ever encounter in Crossover Kings, because he had a head start on almost everyone, and everyone lost the race to Hercules Ricky Blue, a Hercules beetle. You might be thinking, oh, Nemesis, you can't count that. That's not a character from an established work of fiction. This Hercules beetle is a beetle from Mushi King, King of Beetles, a collectible Sega card game. Yup, that is a fat L. And Sonic had a head start so big that he made it through about half the race course before Ricky even moved, meaning this beetle proved itself at least twice as fast as Sonic. For a guy whose whole thing is speed, this redefines the definition of ratio. I'm going to skip Destiny of Spirits because Sonic does nothing in it, and go into Sonic the Hedgehog issue 269. We don't see it, but this is the iconic and the versus community panel of Sonic beating Sega de Sanshiro. No jokes here, he got a clean W. That year we came around to Sonic and Mega Man Worlds Unite. In the much wanted sequel that requires you to bounce around a billion comics to read, Mega Man goes to the store and eats an L. So does Sonic, but it's to the Deadly Six who are Sonic characters, so he dodges an L on the list. Sonic Man then takes out a bunch of Robot Masters, but I can't count it because this isn't really Sonic. This is Sonic roboticized. Mega Man is a horrible name, by the way. The two roboticized heroes get freed when X and Co show up. To be honest, we can skip straight to Styx getting Street Fighter and a bunch of other Capcom characters to show up and help. However, while collecting the Pan-Dimensional Army, a lot of characters end up soloing Reploids, except for Sonic. Sigma becomes Sigma 3 and solos everyone, including this raw as fuck panel of him stopping the Celestial paintbrush with his hand. And then Sonic and Mega Man go super again and beat Sigma 3. I can only count it as a technical win, it is a 2-on-1. 2016 gives us Mario and Sonic at the Rio Olympic Games. Sonic, Mario, and the Mii smack up Bowser and Eggman, but that's a 3-on-1, so I'm not counting it. You didn't need the Mii though, come on lads. And that's all? Sadly, LEGO Dimensions doesn't give us much. Shadow has a gun, that's neat. The best we can say is that in one commercial, Sonic races Kit from Knight Rider and they draw. Bruh, can Sonic just not win a race anymore? And since I forgot it, he's also friends with the rest of the Mega Man cast, add a friendship, and another one for Kit, so 2 friendships. Now we can head to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. For this game, we're looking not only at trailers, but also the unique classic mode runs of every character, as they are all predetermined and follow a theme. Sonic appears in several trailers, winning and losing to the likes of Ridley and Daisy, but we don't actually see the ending of those fights, we see him in the state of winning and losing. I can address the Mario Minecraft punch. Mario clearly was still able to throw hands. Sonic did blindside Mario, man, so I can't even count it as Sonic winning because Mario was distracted. But if Steve wasn't here, I fully believe Mario would have gone back into the fight. Really, this is a Mario L to Minecraft, not Sonic. However, in the Pira Mithra trailer, they're shown fighting Sonic, and then immediately we see the win screen, so that's an L. We can say that Sonic is friends with the rest of Smash though, according to Sora's trailer, where everyone's just kinda chummy. But now let's get into Classic Mode. For actual characters, Sonic and his beats Fox, Captain Falcon, 3 Kirbys, Sheik, and Incineroar, making for 5 wins. I'm not counting the hands, or any bosses unique to Smash, they're unique to Smash. For losses, he only appears in and loses in Shulk and Duck Hunt's Classic Mode routes, meaning one of his losses is to Duck Hunt. So now we can move past Ultimate, Kyoto Kodoba RPG because I couldn't find much info on it, and Sega Heroes and Monster Hunter Super League, so the next is OKKO Let's Be Heroes, featuring Sonic from the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. Well, nothing really happens to count here, but we do get some backstory that states that Sonic won the Summer and Winter Olympic sports against Mario, so that counts as 2 wins. Speaking of, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. In this 2019 game, Mario is shown having beaten Sonic in some competition we don't know of, but given Sonic's track record, it was probably some sort of race. This is supported by the race we see where Sonic looks to be losing to Amy, but I'm not counting that. In the story mode, well, Sonic kinda just keeps on beating Eggman, but we do see at one point Sonic beats Bowser in Judo and Kayaking, meaning 2 wins. But we also have to give a win and a loss at the same time, because in the final showdown, you can either choose Mario, where you will beat everyone including Sonic, or Sonic, where you'll beat everyone including Mario, meaning both outcomes where they win or lose count as viable, so that's 1 win and 1 loss. Now we can skip past Fist of the North Star Revive, which is only notable because Sonic is in a Fist of the North Star game, and go to Shin Megami Tensei Liberation Dx2, making my SMT3 Dante joke earlier even funnier in retrospect. Here, Sonic is summoned by an Acolyte, and from what I saw, he gets 2 confirmed Ws, against miscellaneous Shin Megami Tensei demons and a Hell Rider. I'm gonna count that as 2 wins. We can also skip Minecraft, Cookie Run Kingdom, Candy Crush Saga, Kart Rider, and his cameo in Rescue Rangers, and go to Chain Chronicle. In Sonic's Story of Bonds, he defeats 3 groups of miscellaneous monsters from Chain Chronicle, which makes me happy because we get to talk about Chain Chronicle on this channel again. And let's end this all with Sonic's crossovers with Angry Birds. Only one is relevant here, where in Angry Birds Friends, he needs to be saved from the Minion Pigs, meaning he took an L off screen to the pigs from Angry Birds. Oh, but at least he's friends with the flock. I can give him an F. Oh, wait. That gives us our final number for Sonic as of this video. 41 wins, 6 inconclusive contests, 11 losses, 4 technical wins but 0 technical losses, with 41 victories out of 52 battles with conclusive winners. This gives Sonic a ratio of 78.8, or rounded up, 79%. That places Sonic squarely in the A tier. Not that bad, actually. In fact, very likely in a couple months' time he'll get another crossover, get another W. That could jump him up to 80% and to another tier. But now, it's time for an update. Instead of in the comments like I said last time, I've decided to include each update at the end of every new episode. So, let's look at Godzilla. First off, 2 corrections, and none of them have to do with Godzilla vs. Kong. I don't care if you consider Kong having won the second fight or anything, because if knocking Godzilla over for a few seconds before he got up counts as a win, then Godzilla doing the same to Kong in the original movie before the lightning strike would also give him a win back. The ratio would stay the same. Rather, it's the 2 games with a ton of entries. I neglected that Godzilla does not fight these bosses in Godzilla Monster of Monsters 1 time. Instead, Godzilla fights Ghidorah and Moguera 8 times instead of 1. Meaning that's 16 wins from these 2 instead of just 2, because he beats each of them 7 more times than I initially counted, adding 14 wins from this game to his record. With the other enemies, they're either kind of generic, so I'm not going to count every individual Marker-like cannon he destroys, or they're random encounters, so I'm just going to say 1 minimum. Also, in Godzilla Trading Battle, it's hard to find information, but I can see that you fight against each monster at least 2 times across the whole campaign, adding 8 wins, meaning Godzilla's wins go from 35 to 57. But now we have to look at the new stuff that came out since my video. Starting with Godzilla x Kong, I don't think I'm going to call a winner this. I don't think I'm going to call a winner on this one. Godzilla was absolutely about to fucking kill Kong at the end of their battle, but I'm going to be nice and say it's probably a technical win because this was a stronger evolved Godzilla against the Kong who didn't have his axe. He did have the glove though, but the fight was stopped by Mothra. If you want to count this as a win for Godzilla though, completely fair. Now, there's also this Godzilla x Kong Who Is Stronger manga. This ends with an inconclusive battle between the 2, no points. Then, there's the last 2 issues of Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong. Chapter 6 doesn't give us much but Kong tearing apart some land and construct, and Superman going to meet Godzilla. Chapter 7 gives us a brief scuffle with Superman, but Superman isn't actually trying to fight Godzilla, just getting miffed so he follows. People saying that Superman needed Godzilla to be restrained to fight him are fucking morons who didn't read the comic, because he wasn't there to fight Godzilla. For fuck's sake, he freed Godzilla. What this comic does do is establish that Godzilla killed Toyman by stepping on him. That technically does count as a win. We can't tell how it went, but Toyman had the Dreamstone and definitely would have noticed Godzilla, so when he tried to fight back, he just got stepped on and died. I'll count as a win. Now, the first 2 issues of Godzilla vs. Power Rangers 2 which are out as of this video. Here we see Godzilla systematically kick the crap out of, one by one, Clawhammer, Sting King, and Tentacruel. This fight is dragged later into Angel Grove after the White Ranger leaves the battle, and becomes a huge kerfuffle. Godzilla and the Power Rangers team up, they take out a few monsters. Given the situation, I'm giving Godzilla a team victory, and I give one to the Rangers too if we're looking at them, but that's how it's going to be for now, until the comic continues. This updates Godzilla's win-loss record to 59-2, or if you want to count the Kong thing, 60-3, or 96.7%, or 97% and rounded up. That's how it sits for now. Join me next time as I plan to look into none other than the God of War Kratos, because I need some smaller ones before I eventually jump to Mario and Mega Man, okay? Might do Kong as well. That's going to be smaller as a counterpart to Godzilla's video, alright? No worries.